Welcome inside Raiders Press Conference Live. I am your host, Vince Sapienza. That man you know, Eric Allen. EA Week 17 edition presented by Intermountain Healthcare. We're going to say it a bunch.
Yes.
And we're going to start with win and in. The Raiders win on the road in Indianapolis, keeping their playoff hopes alive 23-20. This team has been playoff mode for the past 3 weeks, and now they have a chance to punch their ticket in this Sunday.
Well, again, 3 weeks ago, we were sitting here talking about, hey, we have the chance to get 3 of these, and if we get 3 of these, we're going to be in great shape at the end of the season to get to the playoffs. Those 3 have worked out. This football team has really overcome adversity, done an outstanding job of putting themselves in position to be able to get into the playoffs with a win over the hated Chargers. Again, what do you say about this team? All 3 phases, outstanding job. Special teams, of course, with the field goals in the end. Derek Carr stepping up throughout the game, overcoming adversity. Defensively, just really rolling, shutting down that Indianapolis coach passing only 145 yards in passing for Carson Wentz. We see it here. Again, it should have been an interception right there. Got to get those tips and overthrows.
Still bugs you.
Man,
that one still bugs you. But
yeah.
When we're looking at this game, we talk about signature moments.
Yeah.
Is this Derek Carr's signature moment of his career, what he was able to do, rally the troops, all that's gone on this season, all that we've seen in this game?
I would say yes, but he's done it 28 other times.
Yeah.
So in the fourth quarter, when it's time to bring his team back, if the defense gives him a chance, and that's the one big thing that has happened the last 3 weeks, is defensively, they have really showed up. I mean, really done a great job against the run and preventing explosive plays for the most part and giving that offense an opportunity. And it seems like when DC has that chance again, he's not going to let us down.
A career day for a number of players on the Raiders. We have plenty to unpack from yesterday's game, as well as looking ahead to this coming week. But after the break, we are going to hear from Raiders interim head coach Rich Bisaccia, who is coming to the podium shortly. Stay with us.
This program has been presented by Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation, made to chill.
Welcome back to Raiders Press Conference Live, presented by Intermountain Healthcare. Vince Sapienza, Eric Allen. We are talking about the Raiders' Week 17 win over the Indianapolis Colts. Let's hear from interim head coach Rich Bisaccia.
All right, afternoon, everybody. So I'll start with some news I've just been made aware of, really in the last basically 30 minutes. Certainly aware of that Nate Hobbs is involved in an incident, and we're just trying to collect as much information as we possibly can on what exactly happened and what the situation is and where he's at with that. That being said, that's all I have really on that at this particular time, because that's all I know. So I'd like to now address yesterday's game. I thought real exciting about our offense coming out in the opening drive and moving the football, going down there and scoring a touchdown, and really kind of, we talk about starting fast all the time, so our ability to go down there and do that was exciting from our offense, moving the football like that. And throughout the game, Derek Carr's ability to extend plays, whether it be on third down or be on fourth down, his ability to move out of the pocket, move up in the pocket, and do some of the things he did in that game was critical for us, and for him to find some of the open guys and make those plays. It was exciting to see him do that. It was also exciting to see the protection hold up like it did as the game went on. It was a formidable front that we played against. A lot of respect for them going into the game. And then we thought we had a really good package that they put together for Marcus to come in, and he threw a heck of a ball down there to Hunter. And, you know, the question was a pass interference or not, but it's exciting to have Marcus back and to see him go in there with that zeal and play like that a little bit was fun to, for Marcus. You know, down there on the goal line, give us a chance for a touchdown. And then 2 guys played exceptionally well on the offensive line. Colton Miller was outstanding, and Andre James probably played his best game. Really played well inside against a really physical nose guard up front. Certainly he's come into his own. Really well done there. The 2-minute drive at the end to go down and give us a chance to win the game with the field goal was really well done by Ole and the play calls, and then well executed by our players. And then in the kicking game, you know, AJ has the 2 punts in the game. Both of them really 20-yard line and in. Did a heck of a job there. Really well done in protection. And then Daniel, certainly what he was able to do. The field goals wasn't very good on the kickoff. Just kind of mishit it. Put our defense in a bad spot, which I'll talk about here in a minute, to end the half. And he'd certainly like to have that back, but we can always count on him to give us a chance to win the game in the end. And then the punt return by Hunter. You know, he has a 41-yard return, sets up a score early in the game. Then he has another 16-yard return. I think a week ago he had a 29-yard return to set up a score. So those guys on our punt return team are doing a good job up front. We had some good push in the pocket. Really played well on the outside with Keyshawn and Teemer and Brandon Faison, and to give Hunter a chance to get himself going a little bit. And then, you know, defensively, I think you can look at the way we made space tackles out there. In the secondary positions, I thought we really tackled well. We were playing against an incredible back we had a lot of respect for going into the game. Didn't change our minds coming out of the game. Really good player. And then, obviously, we threw 2 interceptions on offense, and the defense shut them down both times. No points off of either one of those turnovers. I thought our front seven was exceptional in the game. I think we gave up one explosive run in particular, and for our ability to push the front around a little bit as the game went on with our defensive front four and the way our linebackers were playing. It was good to get Denzel back playing like that. And I know he had some issues with his cardio a little bit in the game and breathing, and I thought Richard Smith did a great job subbing those guys and putting them in there. But I think you saw our team run sideline to sideline. Thought they made really good plays on defense. And then kind of a play that's nondescript is on the one interception. Zay Jones makes a heck of a tackle down there on about the 26-yard line to really still enabled us to flip the field. As much as you don't want to turn the ball over, ended up being a little bit like a punt. Heck of a play by Zay. And again, it was exciting for our team to play a team like that. It was a really hot football team to go into their place and to come out with a victory, find a way to compete and win in the end of the game. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Good afternoon, Rich. This is Hondo. Derek, 8 years in the league, just had his 29th fourth quarter comeback win. You've been around the game a long time. Coach, what is it that gives certain players the it factor like Derek has in crunch time?
Well, I think the point you made earlier was he's done it a lot. You know, he's been in those situations a bunch of times. He's really athletic. He has a tremendous vision of the field, how he sees it. And I think he's very confident, since he's done it so many times, that he knows the plays that are going to be called. He knows the situation that he's in. He understands probably the coverages he's going to get. And I think the game probably slows down for him a little bit in that particular situation. And you see him usually rise to the top. And again, he did it again yesterday. And again, a credit to the entire offense. Certainly only the calls that we played, but for Derek to play with that sense of calm like that, and to move the ball down the field, and guys to be in the right position, do a good job in the pass protection. I know Jalen had a good pickup on one of those as well, and so it was a group effort. But I think you can see a sense of calmness come over Derek when he knows he's getting ready to be in a 2-minute situation. He just really wants to know, where do we need to get to in order to win, and how many timeouts do we have, and those sort of things. So I think he did a great job with it, and he's been in a lot.
Hey, Rich, this is Vinny with the Review Journal. Any update on Darren Waller, and any chance of him getting out on the field this week for practice?
Yeah, Darren was finishing up his, coming off of the COVID. He has to do some cardiac workup through the doctors type deal. So we'll get more about that information this afternoon, because I think his was at like 10 or 10:30 today. And we were hoping to have him back in the walkthrough practice of Wednesday last week. So we're even more anticipating that we have a chance to get him back for this week. And hopefully if we can get him in Wednesday's practice, he feels a little bit better about how it feels when he moves around, then we'll be really excited about what Thursday and Friday could possibly look like. But we definitely think he needs to work throughout the week. He's been out for so long, to really have a good run at it as Friday comes along, and then he'll hopefully be able to tell us, hey, I'm good to go. But we are anticipating him practicing in Wednesday's walkthrough.
Rich, your defense under Gus has just continually gotten better. They've moved in just a few weeks from 30th to 20th against the rush. What is it about his leadership that guys buy in so well to him?
Yeah, well, it's our defense, and it's not my defense. And, you know, Gus and I have known each other a long time. We were together before. You know, Gus has a great passion, not only for football, but for players. And I think he is a mingler. He's around the entire team. He has not only conversations with defensive players, but him and Deshaun have a relationship, and him and Foster have a relationship, and him and Derek, and so I think you see Gus's personality coming out in a lot of the defensive players. And I think also the thing that's advantageous to us is Gus has had the ability to have his whole staff together for a long time. So they all know the ins and outs of each other. They can get in conversations on game day. They can get in conversations during the week, and they can fix some problems right away because they've been in it together. No one's learning the defense for the first time, really. Coach Marinelli's been a part of many defenses, and those two are on the same page. So to know that he has Richard and Milo and Addy and now with Travis and Coach Marinelli, I just think that they do a great job of working together. And I think that the big thing for all of those guys on defense is I think all the players feel that they care about the players, not only the football X's and O's. And I think that's what you see in the way in which the players respond to him on defense. And then we've played against some formidable run teams, and we've done a good job against them. So when you do that and play like that on defense, you have a chance to move up in the stats. But they've been a big force for us really all year.
Hey, Rich, with 5 walk-off wins this year, what does that say about the character of this team down the stretch? And also, I know you said you're still trying to get information on Nate, but how do you not let that become a distraction with, the biggest game of the year coming up again? Yeah,
well, as far as the distractions go, we've kind of learned how to deal with distractions around here, so we're certainly disappointed on the news. I don't have all the facts yet. I'll be able to comment, I would think, as the end of the week comes when I get more information about what's going to actually happen with that. So, but as far as the game goes, we're excited about the next game. We're really excited that we get to play at home. We get Raider Nation coming in here. We should get the, they call them crazy Raider fans. We can't get enough of them. We want every one of them, want to be loud, and hopefully it's a blackout, come Sunday night. We're excited about the game being moved and playing it in our house. So it ought to be exciting.
Hey, Rich, I'm going to ask you, I know you don't know the details that much about the Hobbs arrest, but based on what's happened this year with the team already, I mean, how much of that's been hit home with the players as far as alcohol and not making dumb decisions?
Well, again, I don't have all the information on that, but I feel good about saying they've been hit over the face with distractions and things of that nature. We're very cognizant of the city in which we live in. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll see what it looks like by the end of the week.
Welcome back inside Raiders press conference live, presented by Intermountain Healthcare. You just heard from interim head coach Rich Bisaccia, EA. Vince Sapienza coming to you. Nate Hobbs involved in an incident. The team is still gathering information. We'll have more on that as it develops. The good news, and I think one of the key things taken out of that press conference, is some real optimism to maybe get the best weapon back on the field in Darren Waller, who we haven't seen since Thanksgiving.
He can really make the engine go, right? We've been able to survive without him, but with him, we're a much better team offensively. We're potent. I think we're more confident in what we're going to do on first and second down to get in those third and manageable situations. When D. Waller's on the football field, it's all hope, Raider Nation. And I know you're all going to be there. Everyone's going to be there on Sunday, hopefully to see my man Darren Waller and DC and all our guys are healthy and ready to go.
Talk about timing. Not a bad week to return in a win-in type situation. Raiders press conference live rolls on, and when we return, we are taking a deeper dive into the Week 17 win and what it all means moving forward.